My name is Kayla Collins, and I am the digital storyteller for ECCT, known as the Episcopal Church in Connecticut, and I'm currently here in Guilford at St. John's. May 20th was World Bee Day, a day to raise awareness around the importance of pollinators. Although our buzzworthy friends have a designated bee day, bees are a significant gift in God's creation that we should rejoice in daily. Without bees, we simply would not exist. Every 1 in 3 bites of food is made possible by bees. If they disappeared, foods like apples, almonds, avocados, pumpkins, and many more would disappear along with them. Pollination is essential for our ecosystem to thrive. Therefore, we must continue to give thanks as bees continue their great ancient tradition of pollinating 75% of flowering plants and 35% of the world's food crops. Bees are a reminder that God loves and cares for us even when we aren't looking. It is also a reminder that small steps can have a major impact.
And some pollen in there. And then at the time, they'll put their brood in the center. So they store all their food around the edges and put the brood in the center. Festiva maxima. And it almost always blooms on Pentecost.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's the Great Feast, or the Ascension this year. Tree. Years ago, there was a parishioner named Mike Poshan, who was the kind of tree expert in the neighborhood. This is an orange tree. And if you look closely, you can see, let's see, where are some? Oh, see those? See the little oranges there? And they always are small, but they turn orange in fall.
Oh, so you actually get mangoes on this tree.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're not edible. They're. I use them. I stuff poultry with them, but they're not edible in and of themselves. They're very aromatic though.
So what you're currently viewing is the map layout of St. John's Episcopal Church in Guilford's pollinator garden. We just took a look at a few of their flowers and plants that they have on the grounds, but they have a designated area which is only planted with pollinator plants, which are very good for honeybees. Much like us, honeybees have a range of diet. So plants like sunflowers, sage, or even lavender are seen as very healthy pollinator plants versus plants like yellow jasmine, rhododendron, or corn lilies. They can essentially be seen as the Twinkies of pollinator plants, which is very fascinating and interesting. Let's take a look at their garden.
That's shadblow. And so this, which we're planting, is American cranberry bush.
And these are all pollinator plants?
Yes, all of them. This one is witch hazel, which is a spring blooming yellow, very, very early spring blooming tree or bush. And let's see, over here we have this is a sweet pepper bush with weeds. And over here we have a plant that's going to look really, really beautiful when it gets larger. Uh, it'll get to be about 12 or 15 feet tall. And it has fluffy white flowers that pollinators love. And then green berries that turn bright pink, and then they turn bright blue, and the bluebirds love them.
In 2019, I had read on the ECCT newsletter about a church in, I think it was Fairfield County, that had bees. And so I got really inspired by it. And so Liz Peasley, and Bob Lyons, and I worked on getting some bees. And Liz and I went to bee school and brought the bees here as part of our efforts to be good stewards of the earth. And so they've been here. We got them March 2020 at the beginning of COVID, so it kind of gave everybody something to rally around when we couldn't be in church. And they do love the flowers here. So we've expanded on the idea of having the bees by also having a pollinator garden, which was also discussed in 2019. And so it all kind of works together.
And we're in the process of working a multi-year project of bringing up a pollinator garden. We're in year 3 now, I think. Year 1 was pretty rough. Year 2, we managed to get some flowers, some plants in the ground over here. They're all around us, actually. There's a map that shows where the different plants are. We have more plants now that we'll be putting in the ground in the next day or so. That will probably develop out this area in here and the area over to our right over here. Some interesting native growers over here, big plant. I don't know the plants as well as others, but we have to identify what it is that we want to keep of the natives and then plant other, hopefully natives to this space, so that it'll be primarily native plants that are here.
Bees are from Northern California. Our bees are from, I think they're from South Carolina, but I'm not sure. The queens this year from Northern California, because they had so much snow, were late in taking their mating flights. So we almost went with queens from Florida, but we were assured we could get these queens in time. A hive will then decide whether or not they are going to accept the queen, and that's always a little nerve-wracking. The queen comes with a box of bees in a little cage, and you watch the bees who are on top of that to see if their tails are down and they're kind of wagging in a gentle way, they've accepted the queen. But if their tails are up and they seem a little agitated, you don't want that queen released because they haven't accepted her yet and they will kill her. Then they will raise up a queen themselves. A lot of times the honeybees will they'll detect something wrong with a queen. Either she's old and not laying as well, or maybe she's diseased, or maybe they've just suddenly decided they don't like her anymore for whatever bee reason they have, and they will raise up a new queen. And we check for that in the hives. We check to see if there's any queen cells, because a cell that holds a queen is much bigger because a queen is bigger, and they feed her the